Recording is on. Shalom and good day, everyone. We're coming back together again as Yah's family to learn about his calendar. And for those who've been following with us, we have been learning that in the beginning of all these class sessions, that his calendar consists of 3 lights. And again, as you look at these mysteries, you begin to understand the Godhead when you look at studying the 3 lights, which are the sun, the moon, the Mazzaroth. So today class session we'll be dealing with, we're going to be looking at First Enoch chapter 74, looking at the moon path or the moon circuit. Okay. And what you see before is a picture, to give you an idea or a mindset of studying the moon's path now. Okay. But first we're going to open up in prayer. I ask that my brothers, you uncover your head. I ask that my sisters, you cover your head. Again, remember the spiritual going hand with the carnal, just like heaven going hand with the earth. So when you begin to understand these things that our Father is commanding us to do, you will have greater insight in what they mean. Now, those who are not able to participate in this physical act, you are covered under the new covenant. But the day is coming, y'all. We're going back to what our Father commanded us to do. I know it's surprising to many because of the Roman Christian church. Or should I say Roman Christianity? That's the Greek word for it. It's probably surprising to you because you have not been taught these things because of the beast teaching you something otherwise. But if you read the whole volume of the book of the King James 6:11, you begin to understand these things through his spirit. For his spirit, which is the comforter, Yahusha HaMashiach, he shall teach you all these things, give you understanding, so you understand that we're going back to the beginning of what the Father said for things to be. Okay? So let us face the east. Abba Yah, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, thine is the power, thine is the glory, forever. So be it. So be it. I love the Father's prayer because, y'all, it's some deep things that's being said in that prayer. You begin to understand what the Messiah said. If you don't know what to pray for, say that prayer because it does cover many things. And one of the things that I love in that prayer, that we pray for his will to be done, just like it's done in heaven, it's going to be done in the earth. And when you read the King James 6:11 Bible, I'm not talking about only the New Testament, but I'm talking about the Old and the Apocrypha, as well as the other sacred books, you will begin to understand what his will is. Okay. Now for the lesson. So what you see before you is a picture, and it's saying like describing a circular path. Okay. So when we go to First Enoch chapter 74, it is giving us understanding on the moon's path. Now, when you meditate on the word path, what should come to your mind? What should come to your mind? What are some keywords? Think about path, because we know path go in hand with circuits of the moon, right? So when we meditate on the word path or on the word circuit, I think about direction, how she's going to move, and what determines her movement. Because when we study this part of her, it's going to give an understanding with yourself. Because remember, these examples or these creations are giving you understanding of what's going to take place with you, Adam. Do you hear me, Israelites and Gentiles? It's going to give you understanding what's going to take place with you. Because again, a lot of us have been indoctrinated by many other religions of the earth, but this religion that I'm talking about is the ruling one in the earth. It's dealing with the fourth beast of what Daniel was talking about. For the world has been indoctrinated with the fourth beast kingdom church. And this is why many have a hard time understanding what you see in the heavens and what you see in the earth is talking loudly unto you, but you cannot understand their message. You cannot understand their examples because of the doctrines that the beast has put in your heart because of that leaven. Now, we talked about leaven before, the meaning of unleavened and leaven, but I really want you to meditate on this. Many cannot receive this, or many cannot receive Yah's truth because of the doctrines that the fourth beast has put in your heart. And the only way to break it, you're going to have to allow the living word to come in your heart and to reteach you all these things. So you first must become what? Unleavened, so the living word can do what he needs to do unto you. And when he poured the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding of Yah into you, then you become like that leavened bread on Pentecost. All right? You must be able to graduate from those two steps in order for you to enter into tabernacles. Okay? All right. I have another picture for you. Again, this is a picture of a path. Again, when I hear about the moon's path or her circuit, I think about direction. What direction is she going to go? And how does she know to do these things, right? So let me blow this up. I want you to meditate on this. Because when our Father speaks unto us through his prophets, such as Enoch, Moshe, Yahusha HaMashiach, and many others, even our Father Adam, okay? When he speaks to his prophets, even though the message can seem so simple to you, but it can speak great things as we meditate. So, path, going hand with direction. And the last picture I have for you is this. Remember, I told you that these creations of Yah is going to give you understanding about yourself. So, since we're talking about path or direction, my question unto you: how do you know what direction to go? How do you know what way to take? Because after you learn about the moon today, it should give you a light bulb or a key or a hint about yourself, what's going to take place in you. Okay? Something really to think about, because in this fourth beast kingdom, they gave you a false doctrine as such as do as thou will, do what's pleasing to you. You are free. That's a lie they give you. We know you're not free, but they'll tell you you are free and you can do whatever you want. Where did that lie come from? Okay, because last time I checked, the living word taught me we have a creator. We have a creator in heaven who made us. So can you do exactly what you want to do? Think about it. So how will you know what path to take or what direction to go? All right. So let us open up with the dates. Okay. And as I'm opening up the calendar of our fathers, let me give you the heathen date, because most of us understand the heathen date because we're in the fourth beast kingdom, which is Rome, and my brother is ruling right now. But as the prophets say, his world is coming to an end and Jacob's world will begin. Why? Who is the seed of Jacob that would take down the fourth beast, that would take down Rome and put an end to this beast kingdom, the final kingdom that Daniel prophesies? Who is that seed of Jacob? Think about it. He holds the office of the high priesthood. He holds the office of the kings. So think about it. Who is that Holy One? who was that stone that would tear down this kingdom to set us free, give us liberty so we can worship our Father in freedom and in truth, without being vexed and oppressed by our enemies, nor by our Father enemies. It is Yahusha HaMashiach, the Son of God, the second Adam. Which brings me to this, y'all. Y'all know I used to do the greeting. I forgot. We first want to give honor to our Father in heaven. For Father, it is you. We give you all honor, glory, and praise, because we can see the things that's coming to pass that your living word has spoke unto us. But yet you give us peace and joy in our hearts, even though we see trouble coming our way. But we know what your word is saying to us. We believe in your promises. And that's what gives us hope. For we know these things must come in order for the beginning to start. Let your will be done. So he is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He is our Father. He is our Creator. And we need to give him the utmost honor and respect. We also give honor to his son, Yahusha HaMashiach, for he is the Son of God. He's the second Adam. He's the anointed one. And he is the one chosen by our Father in heaven to deliver us. He is the iron and he is the left, meaning that he is the fountain of the living waters. He is the light / eye of the body, and he is the door of the sheep. We also give honors to our mother. Yes, we got a mother. Where y'all think the idea came from? Many still walking blindly, and the living word is telling you what's done in heaven is also done in the earth. For he says that wisdom shall be justified by her children. For she is not made in vain, y'all. When you understand her purpose and why the Creator created her, through her shall she bring forth the children of the light. David and Solomon knew her very well, as many others. But those who are blind by Satan don't even receive her and say this lie and say that we don't have a mother. Well, if we don't, where did the idea that Eve is the mother of our living come from? Where did this idea that Sarah is the mother of nations which kings shall come out of? Where is this idea that Rebecca is the mother upon thousands of which millions shall come forth? Where did this idea come from? They speak so foolishly. We also bid a shalom to the bride of the Messiah, for his bride is made up of Israelites and Gentiles, males and females, bond and free, circumcised and uncircumcised, Scythian and barbarian. All those who receive him are his bride. We bid a shalom to the 144,000, for they are only Israelites. They are the elect. They are the cream of the crop, chosen by our Father in heaven to accompany his son to take down the beast. And lastly, we bid a shalom unto the nation of Israel, for soon you shall become a nation again. No longer shall the two sticks be apart. For the prophets of Yah said that you shall come together as one stick, as one menorah, as one candlestick, the menorah. And you shall be restored to your proper place, and the heavens and the earth will no longer have to mourn for you to be in your proper place. My brothers and sisters, read Yahuwah prophetic messages that's listed in the video description box. For our Father is still speaking through his prophets unto you, nation of Israel. He has not forgotten the covenant he has made with your forefathers. You will be restored, and all things will be restored to its proper place. Shalom. All right, the heathen's sake, y'all. Today is August the 28th in the year of 2021 AD. Far as the year of Adam, this is how we roll in the Father's calendar. When you learn about the beast and his children, they don't want you to know what time it is, because once you know what time it is, you'll be prepared for what is to come. All right. Even the Messiah said in Matthew 24, we would know what season we are in. We are not going to be left in the dark like the children of darkness. Okay. So the year of Adam we're in the 8th day from Adam, and it starts in the 7,001st year to the 8,000 year. When we convert that from the time of creation, we're in the 13th day of creation. And that start in the 13,000 year, going to 13,999. That is the year that we are in. For as prophecy wise, we are in the 8th week of Enoch's 10-week prophecy. And yes, there is a 7-day prophecy too. And if I remember correctly, we're in the 5th day of that. Like I said, the children are like going to know what's going on. Okay? Remember, he revealed his secrets unto his prophets, unto his servants. As far as the month, like I said, we don't roll like the heathens. We are in the 5th month, the Most High Calendar. If y'all notice this, because one of my brothers was telling me this, that in this month, August, it has been extremely hot. Even one of my coworkers was telling me that they had never known the heathen month, which is August, to be this hot before. But you know what? As they were speaking these things unto me, I already knew the Father gave me understanding why. The reason why it's so hot, y'all, because the sun is still in its 5th month. And the moon is in its 5th month. We're still not out of summer yet. And the Father is giving you a sign, Israelites and Gentiles, to let you know that the beast calendar is not accurate. Again, it don't follow Genesis 1:14. And he's giving you signs right now. Go outside. It's hot. I ain't even out there. It's too hot to be outside. But again, many are blind. So we're in the 5th month of the Most High Calendar, known as Aid. Okay? As far as the date, we are in the 3rd week of the Most High Calendar. So the moon is working herself to be becoming a half light again. Okay? And we can see that being displayed in the heavens. I saw her last night. She's very beautiful. And I can still see the man in her, the man in the moon. The prophets talk about that, but I'm not going to elaborate on it yet. So we're in the 3rd week of the Most High Calendar. Let me get you the date. So the heathen say this is a 28th day. So the Most High day starts from the 27th day of the heathens to the 28th day, from sundown to sundown. So that would be on day 19 of the moon. Day 19 of the moon. Okay. Far as the day of the sun is in its 6th month. And there would be I had to make a correction. I did tell y'all 5th month, but I forgot the moon entered into the sign of Mazarah. So forgive me. So the sun now is in its 6th month, and it's the 5th day of this month. Okay. And let me give y'all the date of when the sun transitioned into the 6th sign of Mazarah. That was on day 14 of the moon. Take this time now to pause your screen to get that information. So when the sun did that, the first day of the sun's 6th month started on the 15th day of the moon. Okay. So today's date is we're in this moon 5th month and 19th day. We are in the sun's 6th month and 5th day, which falls on the heathen day from August the 27th to August the 28th, from sundown to sundown. Take this time now to pause your screen to get that information. All right, now that we have that out of the way, we're going to get right down to it. But first, let me show you this. So if I share any copyright material, it's only for education purposes only, so we can understand about the Father's calendar. Title of this word again today is, the title of this word for today is 1 Enoch chapter 74, the moon's path. The moon's path. Another way you can say this, the moon's circuit. The moon's circuit. Okay. Now that we have that out the way, let's open up Enoch. And we're going to read 2 verses today. Let's say 2? Yeah, just 2 today, y'all. But y'all know how it is. When the Father begins to pour, you would think it's only 2 verses, but those 2 verses have a lot to say. I'm reading from Joseph B. Limpkin transliteration. Okay. First Enoch chapter 74. So the 2 verses we're going to look at today are verse 1 and 2. Verse 1 says this, and I saw another course, a light for her, and how according to that law she performs her monthly revolution. Verse 2, and all these Uriel, the holy angel, who is the leader of them all, showed to me in their positions. And I wrote down their positions as he showed them to me. And I wrote down their months as they were, and the appearance of their lights until 15 days were accomplished. So we'll pause there. Now for the notes. Let's start with verse 1. As we read verse 1, for those who've been following with us, this should be reminding you of what we talked about in chapter 72 and chapter 73. But there are some key words that stick out unto me. In verse 1, some of the things that stuck out to me were another course, a law for her. Okay. Another thing that stuck out to me is how, according to that law, she performs her monthly revolution. So let's break this down. Enoch saw something different for the moon. Okay. He saw another course for her. Another way to interpret this is another law for the moon. All right. So as we have read chapter 72 and chapter 73, you should notice that there is a word correlation. And the word correlation is that course go in hand with law. Course go in hand with law. And as I'm saying this, because I gave y'all some key words at the beginning of the video, we talked about paths, right? Paths or circuits. And I said the key words for that should be direction, right? We also see another key word is what? Course. And we see that these 2 words go in hand with law. Law. Okay. So as we examine this sentence, it also let us know that the moon will have another course or another path or another direction or what? Or a different law to follow. A little bit different from the sun. Okay. That's something to meditate. But notice how, again, what the fathers want me to point out to you, notice how nothing is not done without the law. In other words, nothing's not done without his law. So as I spoke those things to you beginning of the video, this should be reminding you what's going to take place in you. Because again, we have been given a whole lot of lies. Okay? A whole lot of lies. So as you see, there's no such thing as no law. There's no such thing as getting away from his law. Okay? All things are tied into the law. Now, not to be carnal with this, because again, many are blind. Many still don't understand what the law is. When you understand that our Father is a spirit and all things come from him and all things are in him, then you will see that law is just not words on paper. It is the spirit. And through the spirit, it gives us directions. Now, as I'm speaking this, you should begin to understand the picture that I showed unto you dealing with this, with you. Think about it. If the moon has a law, and this law tell her what her path is, what is her course, what her direction, what things going to take place with you? Are you not one of the most high creations? Okay. Do you think you're just going to do whatever thou will? Or you think he's going to have you wandering from here and there with no direction? Okay. Sorry about that. I clicked on the wrong thing. Something to really meditate on and think about, which bring us to this. The same for the lights in heaven is the same for Adam, mankind. Remember I told y'all what's done in heaven is also done in earth? So if the lights have a law to follow, to give them what direction? Then the same must be for you. Okay? My cursor just froze up. There we go. Mankind. Which should be reminding you of which verse? Which verse? It's in the book of Psalms. And some may already know what verse I'm going to. Let's see. I think it's in chapter 119. Here it go. Let's see here. This is where you can find also the Hebrew letters. And I'm trying to remember what verse. Here we go. Trying to remember. Let me go back. It's in verse 105. The word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Okay. This is the verse that should remind you yourself, Adam. Songs 119, verse 105. The next verse that comes to my mind, because he's just giving it to me now, but we talked about this before, but he wants me to tie it all in so you can really see the bigger picture. Another verse is also in Psalms. I think it's Psalms 23. Because when you look at path and you look at light, the gospel tells us who is the light, who is the way to truth and life. Yahusha HaMashiach. You can find that in John chapter 14. Okay? Yahusha is the way, or you can say the path to truth and life. I know he's also the light, that's eye of the body. That's in the book of John. One of the verses, because there's many verses for that. I think it's John 9 and 5. Let me check my scriptures for that. Okay, yep. He says in John 95, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. That is John 95. Also John 1 and 9. Okay. You can find it in that as well. Okay. So with the light in the eye of the body, John 9 and 5. And 1, chapter 1 and 9. And then the actual verse that says, who is the light in the eye of the body? I believe one of the scriptures on that can be found in the book of Matthew. And I want to say Matthew 5. Let me just look it up just to make sure. And we get back to Psalms 23. Okay. Matthew chapter 6, verse 22. Luke chapter 11, verse 34. And I'm trying to find the verse where he says, I am the light of the body. I think I remember I seen that somewhere before. But to save time, you can do that for your homework assignment. So Matthew 6:22 and Luke 11, verse 34. I'm just going to check one more thing. Yeah. John 8 and 12. Yahusha said again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. So that's another thing to put down in your notes. John 8 and 12. Okay. But when we look at Psalms 23, the key word in that brings to my mind staff and rod. Staff and rod. We know a rod ties to a king and a staff ties to a shepherd. Again, they should what? Lead you. Lead you, right? Okay. So bear with me as I go to Psalms 23. Not going to read that scripture word for word today. I just want to get the exact verse where you can go back and read for yourself. Because now you begin to see the relationship between what the lights are showing unto us. It's the same for us as well. It is Psalms 23, verse 4. Psalms 23, verse 4. So we're going to look at staff, where rod and staff are keywords that represents to lead. Okay. All right. So the same for the lights in heaven is the same for Adam. Okay. So if the lights have a law to follow, again, this law is going to give them what? A direction, a path to move upon. Okay. So that is the same for us. Who is this path? Who is this one to give us direction? Who is the one to lead us, to guide us in all things? And that is Yahusha HaMashiach. Going back to the Hebrew letter, ayin and the left. Just as these lights move through what? Doors. And the world today call them portals, but they are doors, y'all. Just as they can move in and out through these, I call realms, because it's like 10 levels of heaven, right? Even in the earth, there's different layers of the earth, different depths. So just as these lights can move in and out from one realm to another, the same is for us, for those who are Adamic. And you got to understand what it means to be Adamic. Okay, we got to go back to the beginning. And the only way we're able to do these things because the law, who is a spirit, enable us to do that. What was commanded, what was set for us in the beginning. Okay, very deep here. Now, another part in this sentence we'll look at is that according to the law, gives the commands or instructions on how the moon moves in her monthly resolution. So when we look at monthly resolution, the pattern we're going to see is a circle. So the law instructs her how to move in this circular path. And you know, circular represents unto me completion, which is our Father, for he is all and all is in him. He is what? The middle of the wheel. It's an old church song we used to sing back then. But now I understand what it means when they say he is the middle of the wheel, because all comes from him and all is in him. So this is why we see these lights express unto us a circular path. So when we look at the word revolution, I'm going to blow my screen up so you can see this. This is where I pull off Google. Revolution. And I highlighted the word so you can understand the relationship. Okay, what's going on when it said that the moon movement is monthly revolution. So again, how do I know that's a circular path? Okay, it says according to the Gentile definition, it says that an instant of evolving. And when we look at synonyms, these are words that have similar meanings. It deals with turning, rotation, circle. Y'all see that? Circle. Other words could be wheel, spin, twirl, whirl, okay? Roll, round, cycle, circuit, lap. So looking at these synonyms, this is how I'm able to find the Hebrew words that would relate to understand what Enoch is saying, because we do know, his writings are translated into English. and trying to find what would be the Hebrew word that goes in relation to that English word that's translated today. So what I did, I did a word search. I went to my blueletterbible.com. Okay, so let me open this up. But before I go there, let me give you the definition of what a circuit is. A circuit is a course, a path of time defined by a geometrical shape, a circle, a circle. If you notice that the Father deals with time in that pattern, it's like you can see it expressed as in circles or as a winding spring, as a winding spring. Okay, that's how he expressed time unto us. Let me go back to Genesis 1:14. Our Father in heaven didn't need these things. He made these things for you, Adam, to understand what is time and how do we define time. Okay. And this is how I came up with that definition. So I'm going to give you the definition again. You will see how I came to this conclusion that a circuit or that the moon path is a course or a path of time defined by a geometrical shape, a circle. Okay, this is how we measure time. All right. So sorry about that, y'all. My phone is tied up into it. My speaker. Sorry about that. So with that being said, when I did a word search in the blueletterbible.org, I'm going to open this up for you. It led me to these three verses. 1 Samuel 7:16, Job chapter 22, verse 14, and Psalms chapter 19, verse 6. Now, out of these three verses, I narrowed down to Job 22 and Psalms 19. Okay, those are the two verses I narrowed down to get what Hebrew word that would match up to this translation by looking at the context of that verse. Okay, and the one that really stand out the most is Psalms 19:6 because we have a light from the heaven. When you read Psalms 19, it's talking about the sun. So it's saying that the sun's going forth is from the end of heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there's nothing hid from the heat thereof. Again, these lights, what the Bible is telling us about these lights, is giving you understanding about those, or I'll give you understanding about the Godhead. Remember what the Messiah said. If you see me, you have seen the Father. I do as my Father does. All things was taught unto him by his Father in heaven. So if you understand these creations, which are the lights in heaven, it's going to give you more understanding about them. You're going to be learning about them. Okay. So once I did that word search, y'all, let me close that out. I was able to narrow it down to these Hebrew words. The first one is looking at Tekupha, H5362. Okay. And when I pulled it up, it was just confirming unto me that the shape is dealing with a circuit, okay, or a circle. And as you see what I have here highlighted in with Tekupha, the outline of biblical usage, they define it as coming round, circuit of time or space, a turning, circuit, at the circuit as an adverb, okay? And then when you look at the strong definition, you see this word here, a revolution of the sun's course, of time lapse. Okay, and words that would define this are circuit, come about, and end, right? That is something to look at. This is another word that will confirm that the moon monthly revolution is a circular pattern. So the second Hebrew word I'll look at is hug, or it's they have a little extra oomph to it. I cannot pronounce it correctly, so forgive me for my tongue, but you'll find it in the Hebrew number 2329. 2329, and this is a Hebrew word that is the confirmation of the geometrical shape, the circuit. I mean, not circuit, the circle. Forgive me, y'all, for my tongue. Okay, the circle. Okay, and as you see here, under the King James Version translation, words that represent this Hebrew word are circle, circuit, and compass, or compass. I'm sorry, compass. Compass. All right. And this one came from the one that's dealing with Job, the book of Job, the book of Job, dealing with the heaven being a vault of the heavens. And when you learn about how the earth is surrounded, do y'all hear me? I'm using the word surrounded by the heavens. So remember that candy I show y'all in First Enoch chapter 73 video, that the earth is like in the middle. It's like the gooey middle of the candy. And then you have the 10 level of heavens surrounded or enclosing itself upon the earth. Okay. Let me show y'all that picture that I'm talking about to refresh your memory. You're going to have to go back to your notes of First Enoch chapter 73. So can I find it? Here we go. To really see what that Hebrew word is talking about with the heavens being a vault, because the heavens also is in shape of a circular pattern. And remember, circles can be different. There's different types of circles. You can have a elongated circle, you can have a round circle, etc. But it's in a circular pattern. Okay. Let me scroll down a little faster. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Let me memorize this a little bit. So, like I said, you have this piece of candy, and the earth is like the gooey shape in the middle. And then you have the 10 levels of heaven enclosing itself upon it. And only the Father knows how deep it is, because remember, man is trying to get up there, but they don't understand the Father. He's always one step ahead. And Enoch's have more insight about the creation. You're going to have to read Second Enoch. Okay? Take this time now to pause your screen to see this example here. All right. Getting back to the notes. So the two Hebrew words are hug, or hug. I can't do that little thing, which is H2329. And then looking at Tekafah, which is H8622. So these two Hebrew words will confirm unto us that the moon moves in her monthly resolution. She moves in a circular pattern that would form a month unto us. Okay. And how does she do this again? She's instructed by the law. The law. Now for verse 2. And all these, Uriel, the holy angel, who is the leader of them all, showed to me and their positions. And I wrote down their positions as he showed them to me. And I wrote them down, their months, as they were, and the appearance of their lights until 15 days were accomplished. Okay. Now, as I'm reading this verse again, you should have all kind of light bulbs coming up. Things should be clicking unto you, or what we studied from the prior chapters or from the other class section. And we're going to start with Uriel, this angel, because you notice that each angel in heaven is given a certain job or a certain function or role to do. Okay. So this angel named Uriel, notice it said holy angel. So this is an angel of Yah. And we know angel means messenger. Okay. So he's holy unto Yah. He's set apart. That means he's of his light. He bears the Father light in him too. And this angel is the leader of the lights. And another verse that should remind you of this is 1 Enoch chapter 72, what we read. Okay. Do y'all see how all this is coming together? This is why I say unto you, it's so important that you take your notes and you take your time going through each scripture, because now you'll see how we are following the instruction of the Bible, how to read these things line upon line and precept upon precept. And this is going to help you to understand what the prophets are writing unto us. So we go to 1 Enoch chapter 72 notes. we have studied that Uriel name means his name means El, or God of light, or light of El, or light of Yahuwah. Okay, and when you look up El is the title to let us know this is the God above all gods. Okay, this is why you see in the English translation of how his name is translated, his name in with El, just like we see the word Bethel. I'm just going to type this in. I'm going to erase it. Remember the English word Bethel, and Bethel means what? House of God, or Yah. Okay, so we can see a relationship between this. Okay, I'm going to take this out. And in verse 1, and that's why I had to go to the book. Sorry about that, y'all. So we go to 1 Enoch chapter 72. This is what it says, that the book of the courses of the luminaries of heaven, the relationships of each, according to their name, origin, and months, dominion, and seasons, which Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, who is their God, showed me. And he showed me all their laws, regulations, exactly as they are, and how it is with each of the years of the world and to eternity, until the new creation is accomplished, which endures unto eternity. Y'all, this verse is saying a whole lot. But anyway, when you compare this verse to the verse we just read, you see that Uriel is these lights God, leader, and that these lights that was shown unto the prophet Enoch by this angel, he also showed them about their laws. They have commandments to follow. They have instructions to follow. So again, this is confirming to you, Adam, if they have laws to follow, what makes you think you don't have a law to follow? Okay. And then we ought to been over who is your lead and who is your God that would teach you all these things. He's not going to leave you to wonder or to doubt or to not be for sure. He's going to teach you the sacred things that are holy unto our Father Yah. And this is how you shall begin to worship the Father in truth and in spirit. You would be a true worshiper of Yah, because you would do the things that is pleasing unto our Father. Again, his spirit, which is Yahusha HaMashiach, will lead you, guide you, teach you all these sacred things. Okay? So going back to Uriel, he is the angel that is over these lights. So that means they have to follow Uriel's command, whatever the Father give unto Uriel. For he is what? He is the light of Yahuwah. Okay? Or he is the God of light. It may depend on how you interpret his name. But it's showing that this angel comes from Yah, and he's under Yah authority. So whatever instructions that Yah given to him with dealing with these lights, he commands these lights to do so. Okay. So another thing that stuck out to me, that notice that Enoch wrote down their positions in heaven. Again, you can't do what you want to do, Adam. Even the lights have what? They have their position or their place. They cannot be out of order. All right. Also in this verse, Enoch wrote down their months on how they should be. So now as we read in this, we begin to understand why the moon would differ slightly from the sun. It's going to give us understanding on that when it comes to her months. All right. And the last and final piece, which is the highlight in this verse, it says that the appearance of their lights, see, the appearance of their lights until the 15 days were accomplished. Now, this should be ringing a bell unto you. What is the 15 days? What is this talking about? That until the 15 days are accomplished, because it's talking about all these lights in heaven. We're talking about the sun, the moon, and Mazarov, which are the stars. You know, the appearance of their lights until the 15 days were accomplished. So until these 15 days are fulfilled, what is this saying unto us about these lights? That is the verse we have to look at. Okay? Because it's saying something deep into here. So their appearance or how their lights will look unto us is going to look a certain way until we get to the 15 days. Okay? So this is where we got to do the precept upon precept. And one of the verses that stuck out to me in Enoch's writings were this. When we go to 1 Enoch chapter 78, verse 6, it says here, and when the moon rises, 1/14 part appears in heaven. And on the 14th day, the moonlight becomes full. So most of us are familiar. You can have a full moon on the 14th day. Okay? Verse 7. And 15 parts of light are transferred to her until the 15th day, when her light is full, according to the sign of the year. And she becomes 15 parts, and the moon grows by an additional 14 parts. Now, I know this verse is saying a lot. Watch the video dealing with 1 Enoch chapter 73, as I define some of this. But today, our focus is dealing with this part here. Our focus dealing with the 15 days. What is this 15 days? What must be accomplished in these 15 days? And it has to do with the appearance of their lights. So when we read 1 Enoch chapter 78, we know that's talking about the moon. And he gives us two components here. His first component is telling that she becomes a full moon on the 14th day. But in other months, she also can become a full moon on the 15th day. So when we get to verse 7, it's saying here that a sign of the year must occur. And when the sign of the year occur, she is full of light. Okay, so in order to know what is this sign of year, we have to go precept upon precept. And the verse that really kind of cuts straight into it, it's in Torah. But the verse that really going to cut straight into it is given by the son of Sirach. That's where you see me write Ben Sirach. chapter 43, or another word that people know by this book is the book of Ecclesiastes. Okay? Forgive me for my tongue, because sometimes I have good days I can pronounce certain words, and sometimes I struggle. Okay? So when we read Ben Sirach, chapter 43, verse 6 and 7 and 8, I'm sorry, let me see how many verses we got. From verse 6 through 9, it's going to tie into it. It's going to give us what does it mean? Well, what is so significant about the moon being full of light on the 15th day? Okay? What is so significant about that? And it's saying, in addition to that, it said according to the sign of the year. So what is the sign of the year that it's talking about? Because this sign is going to affect or deal with how these lights in the heaven are going to look unto us. Okay? So Ben Sirach chapter 43, verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season. Do y'all hear that? Just as he gave a sun the part, he got a part. He also gave the moon, she, a part. So it said in her season. So this lets us know she's going to do something different. She has what? A different law to follow, a different commandment to follow. Okay? So he made the moon also to serve in her season for a decoration of time and a sign of the world. So we can see in this first verse here that it's taking us all the way back to Genesis 1:14, because Genesis 1:14 told us that these lights shall be what? For a sign unto us. They shall also be used for days, for seasons, for months, for years, etc. Okay. So verse 6 is going to expound more on that, dealing with the moon. So one of the functions of the moon is that she is to declare the times. And to give you the definition of what declare the times are, that she's going to tell you the date. She's going to give you the date. That is her role. That is her function. She ought to give you the dates of anything that is significant to our Father, such as, let me put this in here. Declare. Okay, I'm sorry. I cannot get my tongue right. The decoration of time means that the moon will give, let me use this word. The moon will announce the dates, such as new moon days, Sabbath days, feast days, holy days, etc. Do y'all see it now? So she's going to announce unto us the date. That is her role. That is her function. It also go on to say the moon is a sign of the world. What that means? What it means that she's a sign of the world. The best example is the blood moon. She is like a billboard. She's announcing, right? She's announcing unto the world what the Father message is. Okay? Okay, sign. She's a sign of the world, such as blood moon. And with the blood moon declare unto us that judgment, well, I'll put here, that the judgment of Yah is coming. Let us know our Father has not forgotten. This is why the world be in such a dismay or in such a awe of her appearance when she becomes blood red. Okay. Verse 7. For from the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. And I was reading a sister comment on Facebook, and she had a good point. And her point was that many don't know what are feasts unto Yah. And when you go to Torah, Leviticus chapter 23, you will learn what are some of the feasts of Yah. And one of the feasts that many don't believe or don't have the knowledge of, your Sabbaths are feasts too. Yes, even on the new moon days, he have feasts. Father's telling me for you to also read Numbers chapter 28 and 29. And we also know Passover is a feast day. The Feast of Leavened Bread are feast days. Feast of Trumpets, Feast of Tabernacles, etc. So the moon is a sign of the feast because she give us, or she announced unto us, or she declared unto us the date of these feasts. Okay. And it also goes on to define her that she is a light that decreaseth in her perfection, meaning that because the way the Father made her, he gave her these phases. And with these phases, it lets us know where we are at in the month, such as in the beginning of the month, she's going to increase in light until she become full. And when she become full, y'all, that's the mid of the month. And then from that point, she's going to decrease in light to let us know that the month is ending. This is why the Father says she is a sign unto us, because she give us a more, what's the word, visual, a visible light appearance of her to let us know where we at. And if you compare it to the sun don't do that. The sun is forever burning. It's forever have light upon him. So his role is a little bit more different in the calendar. So this is why she is the way she is. She is to be a sign unto us. She is to tell us what is the date. Okay. Verse 8. The month is called after her name. We can see it. How we get the month? How do we get that name? It comes from her. It's named after her. Okay. Increasing wonderfully in her changing. And y'all, she's so beautiful when she go through these changes. Being an instrument of the armies above. Okay. Being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. Okay. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, and ornament, giving light in the highest places of Yahuwah. Now, I highlight that verse because that's giving us a deeper mystery. Remember, I told you about these creations of these lights. It's going to give us a deeper mystery. And I think I'm going to pause there because I want you to meditate on that mystery. Why is that the moon? You need to ask yourself, what is the moon telling us? Why is she's the beauty of heaven? And remember, I used to say all the time unto y'all that how the sun will make the way for her, and then all she do, well, I'm sorry, the sun would make the way for her, right? He would set the path, and then she would come out and just have to be beautiful. And by reading this verse, is this confirming what I've been telling y'all, how she's just the beauty of the night, right? So here in this verse, it said that she's the beauty of heaven. She is the glory of the stars and ornament giving light in the highest places of Yahuwah. And y'all, this go deep because it's relating to the creations that the Father wants to look at, even with us, Adam. Because like I said, what's done in heaven is also done in earth. And it all comes from the Godhead. So I'm going to say this piece when we come back, because I want you to meditate, because I want to be honest. A lot of some of my, okay, how can I say this? Because of their egos, because of their pride, they cannot receive this. And they don't understand our Father, how he creates stuff and how he makes things to become one. Until they understand the mystery of one, they're not going to get this. Those egotistical, prideful people. I don't care if you are Israelite or Gentile. I've seen it. And that comes from Satan himself. And this is why many won't be able to receive this teaching that I'm giving unto you. So we're going to say that from the next time we come back, we're going to pick it up from this verse, because I want you to meditate on, because we already got it confirmed. Let's go back up. We already got it confirmed in 1 Enoch chapter 78, dealing with the sign of the year. It has to do with the moon. The moon is the sign of the year, but she is the one who would give us the date. She is the one to tell us or to announce unto us, this is the date, or whatever it is, such as whether it's the new moon days, Sabbath days, feast days, holy days, etc. She is given that role and that function. She is the only one that can become a full moon or full of light, because, you know, she changes in light on that 15th day. And we have confirmation of that when we look at the 4 blood moons of 2014 to 2015, and those blood moons fell on the feast days, Passover day and the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles. That is the proof. So now we're going into a mystery of her. When we look at Ben Sirach chapter 43, for it in this verse 9, it's saying that she's the beauty of heaven. Why would the Father give her that title, beauty of heaven? Then it goes on to say that she's the glory of the stars. What does that mean? I want to let you meditate on that. Meditate. She's the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light. And I'm going to let you know, it's another mystery in the moon that the prophets say about her. And I don't know if I have listed in these notes, but if it's not, I do know it's in the other chapters to come. Like I said, it's many things that the Father is sharing unto me to share unto you, to let you know it's something deep here that the Father wants to see. But if you're egotistical and prideful, you're not going to receive it, because you're trying to isolate. You're trying to say it's all in a certain gender, but that's not so. The mystery is one. You're not complete in one side of the gender. You're only complete when male and female comes together. And that's something that makes you complete, male and female, that will make you one that you're lacking. But I will say this again. If you're prideful and egotistical, which come from Satan, you're not going to receive this mystery, because you're going to look at it one side. And how you look at it one side, you can become envy and jealous and thinking that it's only given to one particular gender, but you're not understanding the Father's mind or his ideal, okay, or how he made things. But how he made things, he did not make them to be above one another. He made them to work together as one, just as a circle is completed as one. Because who is in the middle of that circle is him. All right, so I stopped there. So we get back to that mystery, and then we're going to pick up on the other verses of 1 Enoch chapter 74. I hope y'all enjoyed this lesson. Again, think about this picture here. Just as the moon has a law to follow, which is a course, a path, a direction to follow that comes from heaven above, the same is with us. But he who abides in us is the one who will guide and lead us and direct us on that path. And that path shall lead to what? Eternal life. Restoring you back to Adam. All right, my brothers and sisters, continue to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, for it's truly at hand. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10, and baptize the people in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. For the Lamb set the example of the water baptism and the Holy Spirit baptism, and he made it so simple for you to receive it right now. You do not have to go to no synagogue, to no church building, nor to any assembly. Our Father is a spirit and he's everywhere. All you have to do is ask in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, and he shall give it unto you according to your heart, faith, and works. And if you have no one to baptize you, you're still covered, because guess what? Your heavens are a witness unto our Father. I'm sorry, his heavens is a witness unto him. His earth is a witness unto him. And the water that he made is a witness unto him. And I will give y'all this mystery, and it comes from his prophets. Did you not know that the water is made from the light and the darkness? Which will give you understanding about Melon. Go back and read the prophet's writings. So much that he wants to show you and share with you. But he cannot share it with those who have hardened hearts, who have evil in their hearts. He cannot do that with you, for you're not ready to receive. Humble yourself. And when you humble yourself, then the Spirit can come in and have his way with you. Love you all, and shalom.